champagne smiles, and magical miles. And I'm your host, Stephanie Parks. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, I'm so glad you're back. Today's episode is a little different, and honestly, it's one of my favorites to record. As we close out the year, I'm sitting down with two of my favorite humans, Peyton and Piper, to talk about something that we do every year together. It's our New Year's reflections. This isn't about resolutions or pressure to become someone new overnight. It's about pausing, looking back with honesty, and noticing what mattered. The hard times, the funny ones, the growth we didn't even realize was happening at the time. We're sharing how we reflect, what surprised us this year, what we're carrying forward, what we're gently letting go of. If you have kids, teens, or even any family tradition that you want to create more meaning around, I hope this conversation inspires you to start one of your own. So, Peyton and Piper, we've been doing this tradition for at least 10 years. Usually we're on vacation together. Unfortunately, this year we are in three different time zones across the US, but we are together virtually. And we want to share this with you on New Year's Eve because it is our tradition. We usually are sitting around a fire outside somewhere. We've done this in Turks and Caicos many times, haven't we, girls?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we're home, sometimes we're at Turks and Caicos. This year I'm on the mountain and you guys are working, unfortunately, or fortunately. But we have this bag and it's full of years and years and years of these memories. And sometimes we just go through and take these little wound up pieces of paper and read them. And it makes us laugh about what's changed and what we thought would happen that didn't. The prediction one, I think, girls, is one of the funniest because sometimes we get it, we nail it, right, perfectly. Sometimes we all, because we keep it a secret from each other, we zip it up. I put it away for a year and it comes back out when we're all together. And as we're reading these over the years, what's some of the funniest things that had happened?
Gosh, I mean, Peyton is always the one to guess mine before I even realize it. I remember this was one of the first years that we started doing it, and she predicted that I would get a boyfriend. And that year, I just so happened to get my first boyfriend, which was unexpected on my part, but clearly she already knew.
Did you know that, Peyton?
Well, Piper and I are very similar people spaced out in a 3-year age gap. The things that I experienced at 17, when I'm 20 and Piper's 17, I can kind of assume maybe things are going to follow the same trajectory. Well, we're very different people. If you've met both of us, you know that the older we get, the more that we have in common, which is really cool.
It's scary. It's weird sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just following my own playbook when I predict for Piper.
Oh, let's not follow Peyton's playbook. I'm kidding. I was thinking when you said that about sisters, I probably need to have one with my sister, do a podcast with her, because we're 6 years apart. But through the gap has gotten smaller and smaller because now we're both in the same phase with older children. Now I've stopped aging, of course, and she's caught up with me.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that logic.
No, I don't think so. I think the year that you're talking about, one of the first years we did this, and Peyton, you predicted Piper getting a boyfriend. I think maybe Kyle predicted that she would have her first kiss. Was that true as well?
Yeah, Kyle's typically pretty spot on. Even whenever we're not doing predictions, Kyle is very quick to predict what's going to happen and even warn me whenever it comes to relationships. And I tend to not listen, and then things go exactly how he said that they would, and then I have to tell him he was
like this year. There was one situation that I think Kyle had shared his opinion with months before, and then Piper had to humble thyself and give Kyle the satisfaction of knowing that he was right.
Isn't that terrible when we have to admit that he was right? But being the only man in our household, he does give us a different perspective for sure. And usually what's funny is for these New Year's traditions, we go back and look at it and how right he is, but he does it in such a funny way.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also pretends
he doesn't.
he's not. He's I don't know what I'm gonna write. Okay, I'll do it because y'all are. And then he's our best year after year.
Oh, well, I'm glad he's not listening to us record this because we don't need him to get any larger than it already is. I call that reluctant participation. He always is reluctant, but once he does it, he has fun. And not just with this, running Disney races with me. He was just this morning going, I don't have my costumes ready. And he does not want to run it. He doesn't act like he wants to do it, but then he's all in.
Who doesn't 50 miles at Disney?
Exactly. Well, that's a conversation for next week's episode.
That means he loves you a lot.
Yep.
I know he loves all of us, but it is reluctant participation most of the time. Okay, so we're doing reflections. I would like each of you to tell me something that happened that made you really proud of yourself, even if nobody noticed.
That's good. Okay, I guess I'll go first. Something that happened this year that I'm proud of myself for. There was two things that came to mind. One was at the end of the year, I got the opportunity to present research that I had been working on to the president of my school, which was super exciting and a really cool opportunity that I didn't even know I would get to have. And I'm proud of myself for doing that because it was scary. And that was like the most professional environment I've ever been in. I felt like Mom. I felt like
You were with her.
Yeah.
You borrowed Mom's clothes.
And it was, I'm proud of myself for following through and doing that because it was something I'd never done before. And then
I love that so much for you, Piper. If you could see me right now, I have this huge smile. I'm having a proud mom moment because I felt that for you because that's not that normally would not be your forum, right? You're very not introverted, but very small circle, close, calm, quiet. And to get on a stage and powerfully present something confidently, I was so proud of you.
Thank you, Mama. I appreciate that. But yeah, proud of myself for doing that.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I heard both of you pause when I said something about yourself that made you proud because it's easier to say for mom, I'm always proud of my girls, right? So it's easy for you to look at someone else and say, I'm proud of you for fill in the blank. Like Peyton, if I said, what are you proud of Piper for? Or Piper, what are you proud of Peyton for this year? But instead, that be introspective, I think is really important. And as we're looking at this new year, going back and giving yourself, we talked about giving yourself grace, but also giving yourself props for doing something that you're proud of is important. Peyton, what are you proud of?
Yes, a big theme of my year was career focused, and it started pretty gray, just not knowing exactly where it was going to take me. I knew I wanted to be back at Disney. I didn't know how long it would be. I didn't know if that would be in the role I was given initially. And I'm very proud and impressed with myself. I surprised myself with the success from the roles I did go after, for the extension opportunities I applied for. I applied for as many as I could, and I got better responses than I anticipated, leading to the role that I'm in now, to the role that I'm going to be a status part-time cast member in next week. Not something I've
Yay, Mom!
big girl job. Like, if I had never put myself out there, if I had never said, well, why, why not? I thought I wanted this. I got offered both. I went with the one that I did not have any prior interest in, and it has been the best fit. It's been my favorite job. And leaps of faith have not been things that have scared me before, nowhere like pivoting from the path, but following a plan that I didn't even know existed and it working out better than expected. Very, very happy with how it's turned out. Very proud of myself for sticking with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should be proud of yourself. And we will take a deeper dive into growing your career through the Disney College program and then being offered status position job because it is not easy. And I think I assumed that once you completed successfully a college program that you automatically were given a job, but you're not. And you have to interview and you have to have proven yourself and have references. And I think it's been a great growing experience for you, Peyton. And it makes me, so this is again, proud mom moment. It makes me proud to say that you are out there. I was actually at dinner last night talking to some of my friends. And I'm like, it's not all the magic that you think it is. And having the ability to be able on Christmas night to de-escalate a situation with a family as your family is sitting waiting to have Christmas with you, and you handled that so professionally. And it wasn't, I'm upset as a 23-year-old that my family flew in and they're sitting at a restaurant waiting on me. It was, I have to make sure that I'm doing my job. And you guys have seen me do that for years. You've seen me be on vacation and pick up the phone because that's what you do when you're a professional. And you pick up the phone, you take care of problems, you do your job. And I'm so happy that Peyton, I got to watch that firsthand, and that hopefully, I'm hoping all these years of sometimes mom wasn't as present as I would like to say that I wanted to, and my heart was there, that you took something from that and it helped you where you are today.
I think definitely on the same wavelength as Piper and I's age gap feels closer and closer the older we get. I am starting to see, and me and you have had conversations, Mom, recently about, well, this happened and it made me feel this way at work, and I wasn't a fan of how this went over, but also that's how it is sometimes. And I had this situation that's completely different field of the line of business, but it's still something that you worked over, made peace with in your career. And you're able to help me through that now as I'm discovering it for the first time. But it's something you've known for years being a professional.
And it's very rewarding as a mother to watch your children mature and to make good decisions and be able, I really believe it is small minority of 23-year-olds, Peyton, that are able to handle the stressful situations of de-escalating an unhappy guest. I'm trying to use your language of the world of I was going to say client or customer or your guest. But I've spent a career learning how to handle guest relations, and you're at a very young age handling this in a very mature way.
Thank you, Mom. That's really the person I need to hear that from.
I forget we're being recorded.
We're just catching up on the phone.
Love you girls. Oh, again, I wish I could reach out and give you a big hug. On that note of being proud of yourselves, let's think about what was harder than you expected this year.
Peyton, again, I will start. Piper and I kind of fielded the questions to each other. Mm-hmm. Mine was pretty apparent, and it was saying goodbye to things that you didn't think you would miss in the moment because you're on to bigger and better. But it's still, there's a little bit of grief because it's something you were comfortable with. Switching roles for me, saying goodbye to a role that I was good at but was not growing in anymore. But I'd made friends. I was close with my leadership. They had given me advice to get me where I am now. And it was harder than I thought it would be to say goodbye and to realize that those friendships might not be the same. They might not look the same because our work days look completely different now, but also making peace with that. But moving on from something has never been terribly difficult for me, but it's been, maybe just because I'm older, just a little harder is something I noticed this year.
It's growth and change. You can't grow unless you change, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's
a great example.
Of this year is a lot of change, for sure.
But for you, what was harder than you expected?
For me, I graduated college this year early,
with a 4.0 in 2 years. Go girl.
For Piper, which is great. But on a similar note from what Peyton said is I didn't realize just how much I was having to say goodbye to, and kind of closing that chapter of my life of being in college, being at GCU with this community that I had gotten to be a part of for the last 2 years ended up being really hard, because then I realized in the fall, all of my friends, my entire friend group was moving back to Phoenix and I wasn't. And that ended up hitting a lot harder than I expected. And I wasn't happy with with that reality at all, because of just how much I had grown to love that place, to love those people. And unlike Peyton, I'm a creature of habit. I do not like change, and I've learned to adapt a lot this year with the change that has happened. And I've learned that it's not a bad thing at all. It's just different. It's just new. I think that was a lot harder to deal with than I realized, because going into college, I was very motivated. I'm like, I'm gonna get it done in 2 years. I'm gonna get in and out, and it'll be great. And then and then I was surprised to learn to see how attached I had become. So yeah,
That's very similar for both of you.
yeah.
It's interesting. And at different phases of your lives and of, your professional or college experiences, but very similar. And it makes a lot of sense. It is hard to walk away from something you're comfortable with to grow. So what's something you learned about yourself that surprised you? It's very similar, theme, but a little bit different. Something about yourself that you learned that was surprising.
So this one was very quick to come to mind whenever me and Peyton were going through these. It actually goes back to something that Kyle told me about myself. Well, both you and Kyle actually told me about myself this summer that I had to learn about myself. And it was in relationships with people. Romantic relationships, I tend to avoid the red flags that I see, or just the potential points of concern, for the sake of saving the relationship. And in turn, I end up hurting myself more down the road. And so that was an interesting thing that I wasn't aware of about myself until y'all pointed it out. And then I started noticing it. And once I started noticing it, now I've been working on being more vocal about it and just being more aware, rather than thinking that the better choice is to just keep the peace and not stir anything up.
Well, and Piper, I don't think it's the confrontation you're afraid of. I think you love love, whether it's your puppy or your boyfriends or your friends. You pour yourself into whatever relationship you have, and once you do that, it's really hard for you to unwind it.
Right. Yeah. And I think I just needed that little push, that little,
Tough love from Kyle.
yeah, tough love from you guys to really make me stop in my tracks and be like, oh, no, you're right. You guys were right. So
Oh,
I appreciate it.
I'm so glad. That's a great takeaway from 2025 for you. Peyton, what about you?
Yes. So I don't even know if I've shared this one with you, Mom. Maybe a couple.
Boy, don't surprise me on the recording.
Oh, no. It's short and sweet. It's short and sweet. It's just that, as you know, I take after my mother, and I'm a people person. I am an extrovert. I get recharged by being with my friends, by being out places, by experiences. But my whole job is people and talking and vacation planning with them and problem solving. But it's just talking to people. So my recharge time has looked a lot different this year, and I've started to value quiet, and I'm home and I'm crocheting and I'm watching Stranger Things and I'm having a glass of wine, and it's perfect. And that's very needed sometimes, where it's just me and my thoughts, and I can download my day and it's quiet and there's no one else. And Piper.
I've seen that recently. We have not talked about that, Peyton, but I've seen that with you because earlier, younger Peyton was go, 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 go nonstop. And I even observed that a little bit when we were with you at Christmas. Like, you just need some downtime. And it's true. I do the same thing. So when I'm on the road, it's entertaining other people, and it's nonstop, 24/7. I'm not 24/7. I may sleep for 3 or 4 hours, but it's pour yourself into where you are at the time, at the place, with other people like you were doing, Peyton. And then I get home and I want to be home. I want to cuddle down, sit in the media room and cuddle Matty Joe and watch something on TV, but I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to hunker down. And so I get it, because there's only so much you can put out before you need to recharge. And I think that's a great takeaway.
Yep.
And it's really, again, I'm going to say this again, at 23, it's something that took me a long time to learn. You can't be as good giving yourself out there in the world unless you take care of yourself.
You said it best.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, well, let's do one more thing, one more question, and then I'm going to ask for some help from you guys, okay?
Okay.
So I want to talk about something that you're grateful for, something that happened or a small moment. It doesn't have to be big, but something that made you really grateful.
Okay.
I've tried to do this a lot, reflect on having gratitude in my life. And so I'd like to hear that from you.
I think that's so important. I mean, psychologically, that's what leads to the most happy people.
Here she is using her degree.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like,
Yeah.
yes, even pointing. I love that you do that, Mom, because it's so true. Even just recognizing 3 things in your day that brought you joy or that you're grateful for completely changes your mindset without you even realizing it over time.
Takeaway for our listeners as well. I'm going to try to apply that 3 things each day that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. That's why gratitude journaling is a thing. But to answer your question, the thing that I'm grateful for this year that I didn't realize would be such a blessing is actually getting to live in the same state as my sister. Again, we kind of joke about it and talk about it a lot now, but we are closer now than we have been since we last lived together, which was 5
Yeah, 2020.
5 years
COVID.
ago.
Yep.
Yeah. And it has been such a joy and such a blessing to, in our adult lives, get to come together again and just literally be closer than ever. I believe it was 2 weeks after I moved to Florida. I was I was spiraling. I was stressing out about a situation, and Peyton made me what she calls a crash out corner and literally just threw me in a corner with pillows and blankets and talked me through it. And this is a luxury that I haven't had in so long that I didn't realize I missed so much. And what I had realized is Peyton is my best friend. She's my ride or die since I was born. And we used to fight a lot. And now that we live together,
Yes, you did.
Yes, I was
we
there.
used to fight and bicker all the time. And now, and I
Physical fighting as well.
physical fighting, all of it. And
more than verbal assaults.
we
for
were
sure.
just, yes, very angry towards each other.
Scratch marks. Trust me, I saw them.
So what I didn't realize, whenever I moved to Florida, obviously I was very nervous. I think you remember, Mom. I was, very
Yes.
nervous the week leading up to moving, and I didn't know what it would look like being so physically close to Peyton again until I moved here, and she took care of me, and we just fell right back into our place with each other. And I think that's what I'm most grateful for, because if she wasn't living in Florida, if she wasn't here, I think my experience here so far would have been drastically different. So I'm very thankful for that.
That the two of you are getting this moment because life changes quickly as you become an adult and you have your own families. And this is a very special time. My sister and I got to do this similarly. Right before Peyton was born, she moved in with me young. I was young, married, pregnant with Peyton, my first daughter. And we lived together and worked together for 6 or 8 months. And it was a special time. And it's a time that I treasure that you never get back. So don't take it for granted.
We're trying hard. I mean, it's easy when you're in Disney World and you can just go to the parks whenever.
Oh, stop it.
And
We work very closely together, so that's always been fun. Everyone, all of our coworkers on her side and my side know, oh, that's their sister.
Yep, that's Paper.
They all think we're twins.
Yes, that's
You're just missing the Lynn part.
Missing Maddie.
No, I love this time for you. Okay, Peyton, grateful.
Not to piggyback, but I'll do my own Peyton spin on it. But I was going to be in Florida again no matter what. I have spent years trying to convince Piper to do the Disney College program just because I think it is a valuable experience. And you mentioned we'll have another time to talk about it in depth, but having your little sister here is, well, having my little sister here. Because we call each other pretty consistently. When she was home or in Arizona, we would call almost every day. But being able to pick up the phone and be like, okay, and when are you off work? And do you want to get Wendy's Frosties? And do you want to come over and I'll make you dinner? Or, hey, this morning, hey, can you make me breakfast? I have no groceries. Thank you. But getting to pair an action with our conversations, or it's unreal. Did not think we would get this opportunity again.
It's meaningful, and I'm so glad that you have it. Okay, so last question for you two. Something this year that you reflect on that makes you laugh.
That's a good question.
Come on.
To move for the fifth time this year, because I'm an opportunity seeker, and every time there's an opportunity to live somewhere better, I took it. I've moved apartments 3 times in Flamingo Crossings, and if you count moving in the first time and what I'm about to do, moving out next week, that will be 5 times, which is more. That breaks the record. That breaks the record.
Do you categorize that as opportunity taker or as a gypsy lifestyle?
It's hard. It's hard because I don't think a traveler like that would mind shared bedroom, shared bathroom situation, but one of my moves was to have my own bathroom, own bedroom. So it's very princess-like of me. I didn't need to do it. And then the second time was just to live with one of my best friends from my first program. How could I say no to that? And now it's time for me to leave Flamingo behind and move into a new place. So I don't know what you want to call it, but it is funny that it's happened 5 times.
It's really
You think I'd be...
Hopefully, just like a big girl job, we'll find you not permanent home, but a more long-term situation, living situation. How about that?
Please.
Yeah. Honestly, what came to mind was this. I was not expecting my mom to step into the influencer, has her own podcast role, but
That's what makes me laugh too.
Oh, I was gonna ask.
Because now I get to tell all my coworkers about my mom at work, and I always start off with, yeah, well, my mom's an influencer. And they're like, right? And they're like, let me see if I can follow her. Let me see her podcast.
Oh yeah, Stephanie in the Parks. Stephanie in the Parks.
I'm so proud of you, Mom. It's kind of like funny in that it's not something I ever would have expected. Oh, this is the next step that my mom's gonna take in her life.
Me either.
I love it because you are like I don't know how to put it into words, but it's not like it's a step in your career necessarily, but you are growing in a creative outlet. And I love seeing this is going to sound weird, but the more human side of Mom. She's not just a professional. She's not just my mom. She's her own person. This is her first time living life too. And she's exploring this new thing. And that's really inspiring to see, honestly. And it's been really, really, it's been a cool opportunity to watch you develop this and kind of get to even be a part of it. It's really neat. And yeah.
Well, now I'm crying. So I've gone from laughter to tears.
That's most of our long phone calls.
It's true. It's very true. Well, thank you for that, girls. It's been a journey for me, and I'm excited to continue it. But it's definitely challenging putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, especially as guarded as I've been social media wise. But I've had such support from people that I've known throughout my life that have reached out. And it's interesting. It's been an interesting few months of trying it and dipping my toe in the water and learning. And thank you. I appreciate both of you being supportive and being on this podcast with me and giving me feedback. And I love that. And I love the community that is being built here.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, Mom.
You are.
Oh, thank you. It's not easy. Every time I'm like, oh, should I press publish or not?
I can't even imagine. Yeah. It's not easy, but I think you're doing great. Yeah.
Thank you, girls. All right. Well, we've gone on and on. I have a favor to ask. I'm struggling with my word of the year, and I have a few that I want to run by you, and I'd love for your feedback. You don't have to decide, but I would like by midnight tonight to have a decision.
Okay.
I have had, and I say word of the year, but you guys know this. They're basically setting my intention for the coming year. 1 year, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, 1 year is being kinder and gentler. And having that mentality actually worked, I think. You can tell me if it didn't.
Yeah, and I think it does work whenever you verbally say, okay, this is what I want to work towards. And then you start remembering it every time you have the opportunity to do that. So,
yes, I've had relentless. This year I have a few. I'm going to throw them out here. And I like thinking, wanted it to be simplify or simplification or minimalize because things are busy and I like to be a consumer. I like to do a lot of things. And I was like, okay, maybe if I simplify, and I'm like, no, this is not the year for that. Maybe in a year or two, but this is not the year. We've got a podcast, and I've got all my influencing stuff, and I've got a career, and I've got all the things, and you girls, and I'm still wanting to start running the masters and the major marathons. I want to go to Berlin and run next year, like all the things. So I'm like, this is not the Simplify year.
No.
So, not yet. So then again, the podcast has been really creative outlet for me, and it's been fun for me. And I was like, okay, last week the podcast it was being present over trying to be perfect. And not that I'm a perfectionist, but I do like things to be the way I like them, which is good and bad. So I do like being present over perfection, but I'm not sure that that's it. I like intentionality, but I feel like it's overused. Being intentional is an overused word. So I didn't feel like that was really it. Grounded, I like grounded, like strong presence, leadership, energy, but rooted, like rooted. I'm leaning in a little bit towards anchored, like being present, being intentional, calm leadership, even if life's busy.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Do you? I like anchored. Attuned is another one I played with, like present, purposeful, intentional. But anchored, I'm leaning that way. But I want your feedback. I threw a lot at you.
Yes.
I feel like thinking about anchored, it encompasses multiple facets of life. It's not just like professional or personal or emotional, but it's like you can apply it to anything.
Yeah, it combines a lot of the concepts you talked about in all the words and just on today's record-breaking length podcast.
I know. I was going to say, we may have to split this up. 40 minutes is longer than I've ever done. And I don't know that anyone's listening to 40 minutes of us talk, but we'll figure it out.
We're a little.
We are, yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been so fun.
Yes. I think anchored is a very cool motif. It gives me gift ideas for you.
So you like anchor?
I do. And we'll revisit this New Year's Day tomorrow, see if anything happens. And now in what, 8 hours? I can't do math.
Yeah.
I should do math. 10 hours from now.
I'm 3 hours different, so I've got a little more time.
Yeah.
But like thinking about the other words that you said, like being intentional and being present, like being grounded, I feel like is similar to being anchored.
Yep.
It just depends on how you want to word that. But I think
Devoted was another one, but I think anchored is more me than devoted.
Yeah. I'm on the same page as you.
Okay, well, you guys marinate on that one for a minute and get back with me, and we'll make the big announcement tomorrow. But I want you guys to have your words as well. So I know you said that was one of the things you were struggling with was your word. So spend the next few hours, because before the clock strikes midnight on the East Coast, I want you to text me your words.
Okay. Sounds good. Lock it in.
Lock it in. Okay, well, I think we're done here. This has been amazing. I've had so much fun with you girls.
we've had fun.
So thank you, everyone who listens to this. I hope that we didn't ramble too much, and I hope you're able to pull something away from this. As always, you can reach me by texting directly to this podcast. It goes straight to my phone, and I will respond to you. If you have ideas, questions, you want to share some feedback, tell me what your word of the year is. I would love to hear from you. You can also message me on any of my social media channels. All the channels are at Stephanie in the Parks. You can also email me at stephanieintheparks@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Also, just Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and letting me share my heart and some of my family's traditions. Love, hug, kisses. Cheers. Go drink some bubbly. Book the trips. Happy New Year. It's Maddie Joe time. Bye, girls. Happy New Year.